Okay, let's go. So welcome everybody. Happy rainy Saturday. Feels like it's, I don't know, another month from what it was a week ago. Here we are. So my thought for you this week, I've been playing with in honor of my daughter's birthday, which is tomorrow. She's going to be 3 years old tomorrow. So my thoughts this week are in honor of her favorite movie, Moana. If you haven't seen it. It's a retelling, if you haven't seen it, it's a retelling of a kind of Polynesian myth or a Polynesian story. And I like it so much for a lot of reasons, but one of it is that it really does mirror the same way that yogic stories talk about the big energies in our lives and how we fit into them. So the way the story is told is very similar to the way a yogic story would be told. But it's a story of a girl who lives on an island, right? Polynesian island, Hawaiian island, and the world is dying, right? That there's this darkness that's covering the world and somebody has to fix this problem, right? And the problem started a long, long time ago because of this, demigod who, made a bad choice, basically, and the world is dying. And so she ends up having to go on this adventure to go find him to try and fix the problem, right? But the whole message of the movie, the sort of underlying message is that while she's on the island, the big deal is that nobody leaves, right? They're like, the island is perfect. There's everything that you could ever need here. And so nobody ever leaves, right? Except now someone has to because the island is dying. And so she goes on this adventure out into the ocean, right? Into the unknown. She has no idea where she's going. She's never even sailed before. She has no idea how she's going to get to where she's going. But she goes because everything inside of her has been telling her since she was born that she's got to go to the ocean. She has to go. So in this adventure story, right, is that our metaphor is the ocean of consciousness, right? That this is the bigness that the world can be, that your experience of yourself can be. And the question that's asked to her over and over again is do you know who you are? Right? Very yogic, right? Do you know who you are? Can you answer that question? Who am I? And that's really the message of the movie, is that when you know who you are, is it doesn't matter where you are and it doesn't matter what you're asked to do, is you'll find the way to do it because you know who you are, right? So the thought that I have for you is that the world, your experience of yourself in the world can be as big or as small as you want it to be. If you're happy on your island with what you know and you never want to leave, then that island will be what you experience. There's nothing else, right? Don't go anywhere else. But there's a whole nother big experience beyond that. And that's what we're asked in yoga not to forget, is that there is that big experience. So even on your island, can you not forget that there's that vastness, right? Other states of consciousness, other ways of being beyond what you know. And can you let yourself answer that question honestly, who am I? Because who you are is not a culmination of the things you've experienced from the moment you were born. You're more than that. And so if you let yourself feel yourself to be more than that, is the world opens up for you, right? Because you're the one who is now feeling it to be much bigger. You're willing to go beyond those edges. So this is the beginning of the story, and I'll tell you more as we go along. But the overarching question, of course, is do you know who you are? So let your eyes close for a moment. My favorite scene, I think, what's become my favorite scene in the movie is later, of course. There's a scene where our main character, she's singing one of her Disney songs, but the final line of it is just, I am Moana, right? That she finally understands who she is. And there's no addition to that. There's no this, that, the other thing of what that means. Is she knows what it means. So with your eyes closed, you breathe yourself a little bit deeper and just contemplate that question, who are you? Not what are you here to do? Not who are you to other people? What is your fundamental presence in this world that comes with you no matter what? No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing? What emanates from you? What radiates from you? What is unstoppable in you? And if you don't know the answer to those questions, that's fine. Don't think it. You just feel, if you're yelling your own name into the universe, what comes with that? Just breathe very deeply and feel yourself, all of it. We call that meditation. Breathe deeply and feel yourself, all of it. what you know and what you don't know. Maybe that mantra, I am. If your own name gives you some confusion, just work with I am. I'm everything I know and everything I don't know. As long as I know I am both, I can't get stuck. One more deep breath in, full breath in. Pause at the top of the breath. And then breathe in just a tiny bit more. Feel yourself expand, relax the shoulders, and still pause. And then breathe in a tiny bit more and relax the shoulders. And breathe in a tiny bit more. Breathe wide, wide, wide. And then exhale all the way out. Let the breath go. And bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands, please. Then come forward onto hands and knees. Beautiful. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Start to cat and cow. So inhaling, lengthening the spine, lifting the heart, lifting the tail. Then exhaling, curling and rounding, dropping the chin. Expand through the back of the ribs. Just move with your breath. And kind of with this sensation that, we're not just flexing the spine, but you're actually letting the breath, move like a wave through the spine. So it's one of our sort of fundamental things in yoga that we say the purpose of asana is to link movement with breath. Because when we link the movement with the breath, is we're linking the pranic flow of the body with the pranic flow of the breath. And the breath is that more natural, steady rhythm that, again, we're not in charge of. Our mind is not in charge of it. We're not fully in charge of it. So we start to link up automatically with something that is bigger than us, that is beyond us. And that's the idea, is that the more you link up with that, the less there is this feeling that you have to stay within the confines, right, of your own mind, or the confines of your own limited experience, the things that you're sure that you know because you've been through them. Good. Nice, you guys. Move yourself just a little bit faster, but still with this sensation of really letting yourself fall into the rhythm of the breath. So even though you're moving a little bit faster, you still feel the breath with the movement. Good. And then bring yourself back to stillness or a neutral spine, as we say, so not arched or curled. So the low ribs are drawing in just a little bit of a lift of the low belly. Take your right leg back behind you, left arm forward. Take a balance. Good. So pressing through the left shin, right wrist hold too. Good. Deep breath in, lift just a little higher through the armpit, through the thigh. Good. And then release back to hands and knees. Go to the other side. Take the left leg back, right arm forward. Good. Again, drawing in through the low ribs. Good. And then release it down. Try to breathe this almost like you're doing cat and cow. So bring the right leg, left arm forward again. Good. Inhale it out. And then exhale, release it. Do the other side. Left leg, right arm lifts up. Inhale it out. Good. Exhale, release it. And then do the first side again. Right leg, left arm, extend out. Inhale. Good. And then release it. Do the other side. Left leg, right arm. Inhale. Good. And then release it one more time each side. Right leg, left arm, extend out. Good. Release it. And then left leg, right arm, extend out. Nice. And release back to hands and knees. Nice job. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good. Nice, you guys. Yeah, good little warm up there. Right leg up and back behind you. Down dog split, please. Sweep that leg up and back. Good. And then bring the knee forward towards your nose, armpits over your wrist, curl into your spine, round. Good. And then take that leg up and back behind you again, all the way back and up. Beautiful. And then bring it forward and across your body. So bring it forward and then try and touch that left elbow with your knee. So twist just a little bit, bringing the knee towards the left elbow, but stay lifted as much as you can. Lift your butt. Good. And bring the knee forward. There you go. Now you have to really work through the thigh. Good. And then take it all the way up and back behind you, down dog split. Nice job. And then step that right foot between the hands. Lunge, please. Good. Left hand plants right arm to the sky, spinal twist. Good. Squeeze into your legs here. So again, the legs are doing a lot of the support, right? They're actually really engaged. And then navel to spine, take your shoulders, cartwheel the arms up, shoulders come up over your hips. You come into a standing twist. Right hand reaches straight back, left hand forward. So it's the same twist that you're in, just shoulders on top of your hips. Good. Yeah, you got it. Yep, you got to work the legs. Shoulders all the way up to vertical. So a straight line from the crown of your head to your tail. Beautiful, you guys. And then bring the hands together at your heart center, please, already in that twist. Draw your navel in towards your spine, twist just a little deeper, and then go ahead and hook that left elbow to the outside of your right knee if you'd like, or use the hand if it's still a little early for a prayer twist. Navel continues to draw back and in. So that doesn't mean just your belly button, it means your rib cage. Good. Squeeze those feet towards each other. Press the hands together. Feel your heart rotate towards your thumbs. Good. And then release. Inhale, both arms to the sky. High lunge. Straight up. Good morning. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good, you guys. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. Left thigh parallels the floor. Good. Right hip is on top of right ankle. Good. Bend that right knee. Good. Drop into the heel a little bit more. Move the weight of your hips back in space. So again, you're pressing out through that left thigh. Good. And then widen your right inner knee just a little bit. Nice, Diane. Good. And then start to scoop your belly, straighten that right leg again, but start to, continue to press that inner thigh, inner knee wide as you straighten the leg and press through the big toe mound. Good. One more breath. Drop the heart. Good. And then go ahead and step yourself all the way back to lunge, please. And then back to downward facing dog. Right foot steps back. Awesome. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. It's a little cold this morning, so I'm trying to warm you up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need, whether you wanted it or not. Good. Rise up, cobra, lift head, neck, and chest. Good. And then release yourself all the way back down to your belly. You're going to come up to cobra again, but I want you to really focus on this squeeze of your lower armpit. So feel yourself pressing into your hands, but then hugging in through not just the elbows, but through the actual muscles of your armpits along your ribs. So try and squeeze your ribs. Good. And then rise up to cobra just a third of the way that you would normally come. So come up a third of your cobra. Good. And squeeze those ribs. So your shoulders should stay pretty soft here. Good. And then release your belly back down. Nice. Same thing again. You can even move your hands a little wider away from your ribs if that feels like it gives you a little bit more access. So there's a hugging of the elbows, but there's a squeezing of the rib cage. Rise up 2/3 of the way into your cobra. Good. Again, really focusing on that hug of the rib cage. Nice. And then lowering all the way back down. And then third one, right? Rising up to your full cobra, all 3/3, right? Rise up. Good. Hug those lower armpits. Feel that feeling of pressing down into your fingers, but rising up through your sternum. Good. Nice, Allison. And then release. Nice, Jessica. Downward facing dog. Nice, you guys. Good. Left leg comes up and back behind you. Down dog split. Nice. Bring the knee forward towards your nose, armpits over your wrist. Squeeze that knee forward. So again, lifting through the thigh as high as you can go. So you're really working through the hip crease. And then take the left leg up and back, down dog split. Good. Bring it forward again and across your body. So bring that knee forward towards your nose and then swing it towards that right elbow so that you can try and touch the knee towards the upper arm as high as you can go. And keep the hips nice and high. Nice, Harriet. Good, Andy. And then take that leg up and back, down dog split. Good. And then step the left foot between the hands. Lunge. Good. Right hand plants left arm to the sky, spinal twist. So again, interesting with the first lunge, right? If you notice that the transition of coming up to a higher lunge was challenging, my suggestion is to move your back foot wider to the right. Because a lot of us have this tendency to step our feet too close to each other, too narrow. And then when we try to change the position, the hips can't support it, right? The legs are like on a tightrope. So make it easier on yourself. Separate the feet more. Good. And then squeeze the feet towards each other, cartwheel the arms up, come to that Higher lunge. Good. Still in the twist. Left hand reaching back, right arm reaching forward. Nice. Vertical lunge. Crown of the head over the tail. Good. And then bring your hands together at your heart center, still getting as vertical as you can. So moving your rib cage back. And then twist just a little deeper, navel to spine, below navel to spine. Let the right elbow hook to the outside of the left knee, prayer twist. Good. And again, as you come into that twist, your back thigh lifts just a little bit higher. Good. And you're squeezing the front heel and the back foot towards each other. And then as you press the hands together, again, squeeze those lower armpits towards the center of your back. Good. Rib cage moves back. Widen your chest. Rotate the heart. Good. Nice, Marjorie. And then come back to high lunge. So unwind the twist, arms to the sky. Good. Steady legs. Steady mind. You got it. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good job, you guys. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. Right thigh parallels the floor. Left hip stacks on left heel. Good. Yeah, blocks if you need them. Bend your left knee. Standing knee. Try and rotate that right hip point so it faces more towards the floor, and then move your weight of your pelvis back just a little bit so that your knee is really in line with your ankle and your pelvis, your hips are actually pulling back in space. Good. Now widen that left inner knee just a little bit. Make sure your big toe mound stays where it is. And then scooping the belly, press up through your hips, start to straighten that leg, but continue to feel like your inner knee and thigh are pushing wide. Good. And then dropping the heart just a little bit more. Nice, you guys. Awesome. Kick that thigh higher. One more breath. And then step it all the way back to a nice long lunge. Good job, you guys. And come back to downward facing dog. Excuse me. Good. Come forward to plank pose, upward push-up. Good. With your chest lifting forward, sternum lifting forward, draw your right knee towards your chest, still in plank. So not coming from down dog, but just squeeze that right knee in. Pull it in, round a little bit through your ribs, sure. Pull that knee forward, 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 armpits forward. Good. And then step that right leg back to plank. Right foot back to plank. Good. Bring the left knee forward towards your chest. Again, squeezing in through those thigh creases, shoulders over your wrists. Good. And then step that foot back to plank. And then the right foot comes forward again, or right knee forward again, squeeze. Armpits over your wrist. Good. Send it back to plank. Left knee forward, squeeze it in. Good. Send it back to plank. One more time, right knee forward. Don't let your armpits slide back behind your wrist. Keep it reaching forward. Good. Send that right foot back to plank, left knee forward. Good. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then back to plank. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips, press back. Awesome. Right leg comes up and back, down dog split. Good. Step the right foot between the hands, lunge. Good. Back heel comes to the floor, baby toe parallels back of your mat, cartwheel the arms up to warrior two. Good. And then stretch the arms up to the sky, both arms reaching straight up. Interlace your fingers, press the heels of the hands towards the ceiling. So as you do that, pull in through your ribs, lift longer through your side ribs, and then let your pelvis drop a little bit more. Good. And now lean to the back of your mat, reverse warrior with the hands still in this position. So you're still pressing out through the heels of the hands, reaching through the whole sideways, through the arms. And again, let your pelvis drop. Let your front thigh go a little deeper into the lunge as you draw your ribs back, as you lengthen through your side waist. Good. And then bring yourself all the way back up to center, please. Stretch the arms out wide, letter T. Good. Bring the right forearm or the right hand down to the floor inside your shin. Good. You can use a block there if reaching the floor is not easily accessible. Good. So your forearm is pressing up against your shin or elbow up against your knee, left arm straight up to the sky. So as you squeeze that shin inward towards your arm, press wide into your knee and draw your right butt cheek back and in towards the midline. Good. And then rotate your left rib cage open a little more. Nice. Awesome, you guys. Start to straighten your right thigh, please, coming into Trikonasana. Your arms are in a great position for it. Keep pressing your forearm against the shin if you can. Good. And still draw that right sit bone back and in, right butt cheek back and in. Rotate left rib cage to the sky. Awesome. Left arm comes over the ear, reaching towards the top of your mat. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Again, rib cage in. Sweep that right arm underneath your right ear so both hands are reaching towards the top of your mat. Good. And you're turning your left rib cage open towards the sky. Yeah. Nice, you guys. And then bend that right knee again, still with the arms reaching forward. Beautiful. Cartwheel the arms back up to warrior two. Nice. Widen that right inner knee. Drop the left hand down the back thigh. Right palm spins up and back. Reverse warrior. Like there's no weight on that back leg. So you might be sliding the hand down the leg, but don't lean on it, right? Keep that feeling of lengthening through your rib cage, lengthening through your spine. You're floating on the ocean. Come back to letter T, arms wide, warrior two. Good. Straighten the front thigh, please. And then turn the right toes the same direction as your left. So wide legs facing the side of your mat. Good. Reach behind you, interlace your fingers at the low spine. Deep breath in. Good. And then start to bow forward, taking the arms up and over any amount. Keep hugging the upper arms. Keep hugging the inner shins, widening the inner thighs. Good. Nice, you guys. Hug, hug, hug the legs. Press your hips up towards the sky. Nice. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Good. Walk your hands forward like you're in a wide-legged downward facing dog. Beautiful. So we have this essence in this story that, you know, because of a wrong that was done centuries ago, right, that the world is struggling with this darkness. And that's, of course, a metaphor for how we understand karma, right? Because of stuff that you did in the past, you are stuck doing what you're doing in this lifetime, or we're stuck doing it together because of decisions. Action causes reaction. So it's interesting, right, that the Moana goes on this adventure to go find the person who's responsible. And then she finally does. She finally finds him and says, you have to help fix this, right? You have to do it. And he says, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be involved with that. It sounds really dangerous and scary and difficult. I don't want to do it. I don't have to. I had reasons. There were reasons why I did what I did. You can't make me. Sound like any part of your life. Don't want to face this. One more breath. And then walk yourself back in. The world can be as big or as small as you want it to be. Walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. Right toes turn forward. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. Nice, you guys. And then left leg comes up and back behind you, down dog split. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Right heel comes flat, baby toe parallels back of your mat, warrior two. Virabhadrasana two. Where are you in the world? That's the metaphor for this pose, right? Is that you are in the middle of action. You're preparing for action. So important. What is the question? Who am I? What is the answer to the question? Who am I? Because it's not about what you are doing in the world. It's about what you are bringing to the world through what you do. Take your arms up alongside your ears. Interlace your fingers, press heels of the hands up towards the sky. So get long through your spine, drop through your pelvis, and then take the reverse warrior, leaning towards the back of your mat, but still press out through the hands. Good. Mark, watch that front knee, push it a little bit wider towards the second toe, third toe. Nice, Allison. Good. Marjorie, lift your left hip point up towards the top of your mat a little more. There you go. Good, you guys. And then bring yourself all the way back up, please. Arms wide, letter T. Good. And then you're taking that left forearm down to the floor, left hand down to the floor inside your front shin. Use a block if you need. And you're pressing that forearm up against your shin, up against the inner knee. So you have something to actually root into. And then you're drawing your left butt cheek back and in towards the midline of your mat. So it might feel like your whole back thigh moves forward a little bit. That's okay. And then rotate your right rib cage up towards the sky a little bit more. Good. Low rib cage in. Nice, you guys. Awesome, awesome. Start to straighten your left leg, please, towards triangle pose so that hand can stay on the floor or come up to a block if you need, but press the forearm and the shin against each other so you have that same stability in the leg. And you're still rotating the ribs, navel in, ribs in, rotate. Sternum to the sky. Good. And then really squeeze the feet together. Take that right arm over the ear. So again, you're reaching the whole length of your side body. And then take the left arm up as well. So both hands reaching towards the top of your mat. Good. And rotate your right rib cage up towards the sky again by tucking your left ribs under. Again, if you're not sure how that happens, you tuck the left rib cage under and the right rib cage lifts. Good. Nice, you guys. Bend the left knee again. Again, trying to send it slightly wide. Come back to warrior two, arms up, arms open. Good. Right hand drops down the back thigh, left palm spins up and back, reverse warrior. Marjorie, lift that left hip point again. Good. Over and over again, retrain yourself. Lift that hip point. Awesome. And then bring yourself back up to center, please. Arms wide, straight in the front thigh again. Turn your left toe same direction as your right. Come back to that wide stance. Good. And then reaching behind you, interlace your fingers again at the low spine. Deep breath in and bow forward, taking the arms up and overhead any amount. Good. It's also interesting when Moana finds this character, right? He's supposed to be a demigod, so he's been given all of these great powers from, the divine, but he lost them, right? He lost them. And so even if he wanted to solve the problem that, he created, he says, I can't. He says, I've lost all my power. I can't. And so Moana's first, journey with him is that, okay, let's go get your power back, right? Then we'll go do the thing. Release the hands down to the floor. Stories of our lives, right? Is you have to discover, where does your power come from? Understand it before you can just go use it willy-nilly all over the place. Otherwise, it causes problems. Right hand plants underneath you, left arm to the sky, twist. Good. And then release and switch, left hand down to the floor, right arm up. Keep your inner thighs nice and wide. Good. And then release and switch, right hand down, left arm up. Do it with your breath so that you're reaching through that left hand. You're not just pushing down through the right, but you're pulling up through the left. And then release and switch, left hand down, right arm up. Same thing. You're pulling through that right arm, pulling through that right shoulder, right rib cage open. And then release, right hand down, left arm up. Last time this side. Good. Inner thighs nice and wide. Release and switch, left hand down, right arm up. Nice, Diane. Nice, Harriet. Good, Andy. Good, Jessica. And then release that hand down. Nice, Laura. Good. And then walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. Left toes turn forward. Spin the right heel up. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. And then drop to your knees. Take a child's pose. Hips back to your heels. Bend your elbows. Make a little pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands. So a wide shoulder. Good. Wide upper back. And so, of course, I didn't tell you, right, that the source of this darkness in the world is that the mother, divine mother, she had her heart stolen, right? Literally, a heart stolen from her by this demigod. And so the heart itself was lost for a long time, made its way. Moana has it, right? Of course she does. So her job, she's sure, is that her job is to find Maui, the demigod, with the heart and say, here, you have to go put it back because you're the one who took it, right? You have to fix this. And so the whole story is she's trying to convince him to go do this one thing to go fix it. And then they get to that point where he has to face this, demon monster that appeared when the heart was stolen. And he says, I don't want to, it's too scary. But he confronts it anyway and he fails, right? It's too scary. Walk yourself back up to hands and knees. So even with all the power of the gods, he says, And he's afraid that by fighting this monster, he's going to lose that power and cease to be who he thinks he is. Right arm out wide to the right. See how this is very yogic, this story. Slide that right hand, right arm behind your left wrist, thread the needle, and walk the left arm forward towards straight. So he runs away because he says, if I do this and I lose this power, or I lose this part of my identity, he says, I'm nothing. I won't do it. And he leaves. Moana's like, well, what the heck do I do now? Like, this was my whole purpose. I was supposed to bring you here. And so she goes into this whole, moment where she has to re-understand, why am I even here? What am I doing? What am I trying to do? This is where she has her big moment where she realizes that what she's there to do is to fix the problem. It doesn't matter why it started. And that she has the power to fix it. She doesn't need him. And she makes that decision that she's just going to do it. And that's where she has her big line. I am Moana. This is what I'm here to do. One more breath. And then walk yourself back up to hands and knees and switch to the other side. So take the left arm out and wide. Slide that arm behind the right wrist. Left shoulder finds the floor. Walk the right arm forward towards straight. right? So we have this great metaphor, right, of the ocean and the world, and saying that the world can be as big or as small as you want it to be, not based on what you do, but based on who you think you are. So if you are afraid that your identity is so tied to specific details in your life, specific places, specific people, specific events, you might find yourself running a lot saying, I don't want to face this or that or the other thing. I can't lose this about myself. So what happens if the answer to that question is simply, I am who I am, I am. I am, place your name there. And this is what I do in this life. This is what I am here to do. And your experience of yourself becomes so big that there is nothing in the world that can contain it, that can stop it. And surprise, Milana goes to fix the problem herself, give the heart back to the mother, and Maui comes back. The guy who ran away comes back. Says, it doesn't matter if I lose myself. I'm going to help. Bring yourself back up to hands and knees. The story of the guru, right? Shows you who you are. Downward facing dog. Good. Step that right foot forward between the hands, lunge. Good. And then bring both hands inside the front foot. Left shoulder comes right up inside that left knee. Slide the hand behind your heel. So you're wrapping the right arm around the back of your calf. So your right shoulder is up against the knee. Slide that hand to the baby toe edge of your foot. Good. And then you're lifting your chest forward and up. Good. And sending your pelvis up and back. Nice. So again, a wideness of your chest. Wide, 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 wide. Good. And then really engage those legs. So scoop that right butt cheek so that your thigh is really rooted into the lunge, and then stretch your arms out wide, letter T, right arm still underneath the knee. So it's a hovering lunge. And if you'd like to, wrap that right arm around the right thigh, reach the left arm back, take the bind around that leg. Good. Really good. Shoulders face the floor as much as you can. Squeeze that right butt cheek in. Good. And then slowly unwind the arms, please. Beautiful. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. I don't know if that's called relief or not, but it's different. Good. Left thigh kicks nice and high. Hands forward underneath your shoulders. Use blocks if you need. Good. Left hand stays on the floor. Take your right arm up to the sky. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Optional, bend that left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, reach back for the foot or the ankle. Good. Widening that heel again towards the outer hip, turn the shoulder open more. Good. Widen your standing knee. Yeah, chest open, chest open, chest open. Move your pelvis back. Good. Release and stretch everything out. Don't collapse out of the pose. Beautiful. Release the hand, please. Release the leg back behind you. Nice long lunge and step back to downward facing dog. Good. Vinyasa, if you choose, child's pose if you prefer, or stay in dog. If you're doing the vinyasa, you're sliding forward to plank, lowering down slow to the belly, rising up into cobra, coming back to downward facing dog. Good. Left leg comes, or left foot steps forward between the hands. Yeah, you can take it into the split if you want. Step it forward. Good. Both hands come inside the front foot. Left shoulder comes inside that knee. So again, you're helping to widen the knee. Slide the hand behind the heel towards the baby toe. So you're wrapping the left arm behind your calf. Good. And then you're pressing into your hands and lifting your sternum forward, lifting your chest forward. Good. And then pulling your hips back. So this becomes a shoulder opener and a hip opener at the same time. Good. And then really squeeze the legs together. So pause for a moment, find the length of your spine, and then stretch the arms out wide. So you're balancing using the legs, arms are out. Good. And then if you want to take that bind, wrap the left arm around the thigh, reach the right arm back around your lower back. Try to keep your shoulders as square towards the floor as you can. Good. So here you got to move the weight of your hips all the way to the right. I know. Yep. I know. Good. Nice, Marjorie. And then slowly release. Nice, Laura. Good, Allison. Unwind, please. Unwind the arms completely. Walk yourself straight ahead. Step up to standing split. Right thigh parallels the floor. Good. Practice to understand the source of our power and that our identity is not tied to specific time and place, but it is huge. It is the wideness of consciousness. And it finds its way through this vessel that you call by your name, but it's not limited to that. hands on blocks or underneath your shoulders. Right hand stays where it is, left arm to the sky, revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good, make sure you have space where your hand is far enough away from your foot so that your side ribs have length. Good, and then optional is to bend the knee, reach back for the foot or the ankle. Stay where you are. If you're holding the foot, you got to widen that heel again towards the outer hip, but keep your knee in line with your hip. Don't let the knee go wide. And then rotate your ribs, open, open, open. Press into that hand on the floor or on the block. Good. Nice, you guys. And then extend all the way back out. Don't collapse. Extend. And then release the hand, please. Nice job. Step back to lunge. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Bend your knees. Cat-cow your spine and down dog. Good. If you need to come all the way down to your knees for cat and cow, that's fine. So either cat and cow and dog or on hands and knees. Good. Nice, you guys. And then come back to stillness, please. Straighten the legs, dropping through the heels, downward facing dog. Look forward between your hands, step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Good. Separate the feet nice and wide. Turn your toes out, come down, squat. Good. And then the right hand comes to the floor inside your right foot, right forearm inside the right shin, left arm to the sky. And you can stay here, or you can turn that left palm to face back, reach around to your lower spine. So take the bind with the top arm. Good. And then that right shoulder can drop inside your right knee. Bend that elbow around the front of your shin. So not underneath the leg, but around the front. Squeeze that right knee and turn your ribs open to the left. Good. And then release, please. Hands to the floor. Straighten your legs for a moment. Turn the toes forward if you'd like. Forward fold. Good. And then turn your feet wide again. Drop back to squat. Good. Left arm inside left foot or inside left leg. Right arm to the sky. Nice. And again, going for the bind if you'd like, turning the right palm to face back, reaching around the lower spine. Left shoulder comes a little lower. Wrap that arm around the front of your shin. It's an awkward bind, I know. Reaching around, hugging, and opening the ribs to the right. Good. Try and keep both feet anchored to the floor as you open, open, open. Awesome. And then release the hands, please. Again, straighten the legs. Turn the toes forward and bow. So here where you might want your strap, because we're going to try a little bird of paradise. So the bind is kind of necessary for this pose, or it's really helpful. So if you need the strap for binding, then make sure you have that. Good. And then you're coming back to that squat position. See if I can talk you through this without doing it. Most of you have done this pose before, so you kind of know where we're going. Good. So not a full squat. So you're lifting your butt just a little higher. Good. And then, yep. So you're kind of in a half squat. So you're lifting your butt a little higher. Good. And then your feet are underneath your hips. Yeah. So you're bringing your weight all into your left foot because your right leg is going to be the one that lifts. So your weight goes into your left foot to come up onto the ball of your right foot. Right foot comes up onto the ball. And you're bringing your right shoulder inside that right knee. Slide the arm around underneath your thigh. Left arm comes up to the sky holding the strap. Good. And reaches, strap hangs back behind you. Yep. Yep. So the right arm is coming inside the right knee. Left arm, turn the palm back, bend the elbow. So as though you were going to hold hands around that right thigh. Use the strap if you need. So Marjorie, just bend that left elbow so that you can hold the strap lower down. Yes, you still want to try and make it a bind. You're turning the elbow backwards. There you go. Exactly. You got it, Laura. Good. And then you guys, all of your weight is in that left foot. You got to start to scoop your belly, start to pull that right knee in towards your chest, lifting the foot up off the floor. And as you start to bring your butt facing the floor, you're pulling that right knee in towards your armpit. Yep. And then you're taking that leg straight out to a split. Okay. So you guys don't remember this pose at all. So come on down for a second. I will show you. Relax for a second. And look, I have to come back far enough, right? So you're starting from this squat position, wrapping the arm around, bringing the knee up, 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 up. Woo, to there. Yeah. So it's like a split pose. right? But you have your arm wrapped around the leg, right? So the secondary sort of option here is you could, without the bind, just come up to here. But we're working to have this connection where we can at least get to here, right? So I've got to pull my thigh up. I got to pull my knee up as I'm squeezing the arms. And then I can start to work the leg towards straight, right? Okay, so you had a visual. Let's try again. So come back to that sort of squat position. And again, if you know that the bind is what's going to trip you up here and not work, then don't worry about the bind. Just focus on, can you come from that squat position, lift that right knee in towards your chest, use your hand to hold the knee, and come up to that extended leg, right? That's a big deal. So if you're going for the bind, though, the right shoulder inside the right knee, left arm comes up and back, wraps around. So you're hugging that right knee in, squeeze it in towards your side ribs. And then as you scoop your belly, you start to straighten that left leg. Keep that knee pulling up towards your right armpit. Good. Nice, Marjorie. You got it, Mark. Move slow. If you move too fast, you're just going to topple over. Nice, Jessica. You got it. And then maybe you start to extend the leg today. Maybe not. You got it, Laura. That was beautiful, Marjorie. Good, Mark. You got it. Nice, Harriet. Awesome. And then slowly bring it down. Do not fall out of your pose, please. Awesome. You got to try the second side, okay? You got two legs, you got to do it. So take a little moment and then come back to that squat position. Again, this is my preferred way of coming into this. And then you're using the left arm around the left knee. So your left knee is lifting, which means your right leg is your standing leg. So left shoulder inside left knee, wrap the left arm underneath the thigh, right arm comes all the way up and back. Good. And then as you start to rise up to stand, you're pulling that left knee in towards your chest. You got to have all your weight really centered. Which arm is pulling? Technically, both arms are pulling when you're in the bind. Is you should really, once you have the connection, is they're pulling against each other. But it's the knee that's lifting is the arm that is on the inside. Yeah. So you're probably going to feel more pull on the on your left arm in that position, Allison. There you go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Good, you guys. So brave. And then slowly release it. Nice job. Separate the feet nice and wide. Come back to squat. Whatever just happened for you, come back to squat. Find your breath. That was really good. That was nice, Allison. It was really good, everybody. You guys did a beautiful job. All of your variations, all of your efforts. Take one more breath in your squat. Center. Come back in. Remember who you are, right? You're not a perfect bird of paradise pose or an imperfect bird of paradise pose. So whatever you brought to the pose is what you receive from it. And then release the hands. Come on down to sit. Right? Moral of this story, right, is that what you bring to your life, how big you are in your life, means that your life will give you that bigness back. But if you stay in your island, you stay in that state of, I'm afraid of what I might lose. Then we stay in that state of contraction. The world stays small. Good. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you, please. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Flex the feet, dig your heels down, and then bow forward. Paschimottanasana, reaching beyond the feet. So you can reach for the feet, but reach beyond the feet. Good. Beautiful, you guys. Answering the question, who am I? Not what are you here to do, not what are you to other people, but what is so fundamental and unstoppable in you that it comes into everything that you do. Walk yourself all the way back up, please. Good. Bend your knees, plant your feet, take your hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards your heels. Good. Bend the elbows just a little bit so that you drop into your shoulder joints again. Lift your chest a little higher and then press into your feet. Lift your hips as well. Reverse table. Good. I like that reverse plank too. Good. Pressing into the feet. Feel the lift from the back of your heart. So make this more of a shoulder opener than trying to get just through the hips. Awesome. And then release the hips to the floor, please. Nice job. Stretch the right leg straight out in front of you. Good. Bring the left foot over your right thigh. Wrap the right arm around your left knee. Left hand comes back behind you, spinal twist. Good. Relax the shoulders, widen the chest. Awesome. Bring yourself back towards center, please. Good. Switch sides. So bring the left leg forward in front of you. Bend the right knee. Cross it over the left thigh. Left arm crosses or wraps around your right knee. Right hand pump comes back behind you. If you only ever stick to down dog because that's what you know, bird of paradise never happens. And if you're afraid of falling and saying, what if I'm less than I thought that I was because I didn't do it on the first try, bird of paradise never happens. Good. And unwind yourself, please. Nice. Find your way onto your backs. And I kind of chose that pose or wanted to do that pose today because the actual translation for it, the Sanskrit, basically means like been to heaven twice, like been born twice, basically. So I don't know how bird of paradise became its translation, but it is. I think because it looks like the flower. Take your right ankle over your left thigh, please. Lift your left shin parallel to the floor. Reach through to hold. Good. Right, but this concept that if we cannot confront the bigness of ourselves, as we don't have that experience of heaven. That's as the yogic stories too. It's as if you can't confront the things that you are terrified of, that you're scared of, is that you cannot achieve heaven. Because that heavenly experience, the blissful experience, includes an understanding of that line between what is dark and light, what is the ocean and your island. And that you are the one that navigates both, right? And that line of her song, she says, I'm a girl who loves my island and I'm a girl who loves the sea. Not one or the other, both. And that's who I am. And it's in this story, of course, that, she's facing this volcano, demon, appears to be. And she's the one who realizes that the volcano demon is, in fact, the Divine Mother. It's the Mother Island that she's looking for. She's trying to give the heart back to that. And when she realizes it, then she has the ability to actually confront it with no fear. She stands right in front of it and says, I know who you are. And this is not it. It's not who you are. And she gives the heart back, and the demon becomes the mother goddess again. Benevolent. Good, you guys. Switch the legs, please. Taking the left ankle over top of the right thigh. Lift the right shin parallel to the floor. Reach through to hold. So I love that too, that even in this aspect, very similar to the yogic stories, where the Divine Mother, the goddess energy, is all things, right? She is the power of life itself, but that means that she's also the power of death. She's everything that makes things grow, and she's also the ultimate destruction. And in that moment when Moana realizes that they're one and the same, I like to think that that's the moment where she really transcends, the enlightenment moment. Oh, I get it. This is why I'm here, to understand that. This is what the world needs, is for someone to understand that. Even her name, in the Polynesian, her name is actually a name for the goddess that represents the ocean. Moana is the ocean. So it's within our own comprehension of these things that the world either becomes this vast whole place, or it becomes a place that's full of monsters, full of demons, full of things we can't confront. Good. Nice, you guys. Release the legs, please. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Good. And then keep the right knee and extend the left leg down to the floor. Bring that right knee a little wider into half happy baby, reaching the right hand for the ankle or the foot, knee a little wider than your elbow. And then let that knee bend. Good. Don't let the heel go wider than your knee. So Allison, draw that heel in a little bit. There you go, knee a little bit wider. So again, you're changing the angle of the thigh bone in the hip socket. That's what you want. Good. And then you can either stay here, deep breath in, or you can start to lift the shoulders up, wrapping that right arm around the inside of your calf. It's like you're trying to bring the knee up over your shoulder or your shoulder up inside your knee. Good. Yeah, any amount is good. Awesome. One more breath. So don't do it with struggle, do it with intention. Awesome. And then slowly release, please, hugging that right knee back in towards your chest. Bring it across the body, spinal twist. Right arm goes wide or up alongside the ear. Good. And then, of course, at the end of everything, Moana and Maui are going to go home, and Moana says, you can come with me, you can come back to my island. And he says, no, come on back to center, please. Squeeze that knee in. And then release that leg down to the floor. Bring the left knee in. Bring it into half happy baby. Knee goes a little wider towards the armpit or towards the shoulder. Reach inside, elbow inside. Find the foot or the ankle. Again, knee should be wider than your heel. So make sure that you widen the knee, but draw the shin in, draw the heel in. Good. And then keep that right thigh anchored to the floor. And she says to Maui, my people could really use someone who knows what you know. And he says, well, they have you. So they don't need me. And their parting words, of course, is I'll see you out there on the ocean. Wherever the world takes you, wherever the world takes me, I'll see you out there. And the real meaning behind that, I think, is that, when you know who you are and you know who someone else is, you feel them, is you don't need them right in front of you. Karmically, you don't need them right in front of you. If you're going for that little wrapping bind, lift the shoulders up here, taking that knee almost back behind the shoulder. So curling into your spine. Keep that right thigh rooted down to the floor as much as you can. Good. Nice. Again, don't struggle. Use your navel here, not your neck. Good. And then slowly release, please, hugging the left knee back in towards the chest. Take the knee across your body, spinal twist. Left arm goes wide or up alongside the ear. This interesting concept that when you know who you are, when you know what your relationship is with that vastness or the bigness, is that you see it everywhere. You don't need it right in front of you, because it is right in front of you in everyone and everything. So Moana goes home and she convinces her people to leave the island, to go back out in the ocean, because that's what their history is, right? Is that they used to be people of the ocean. Big is as big, the world is as big or as small as you want it to be. Come on back to center, please. Squeezing that left knee in, bring the right knee in as well. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees, squeeze and hug. Good. And then slowly release the legs, plant the feet, one more bridge pose. So press down through the upper arms, press into your feet, rise up, lifting the chest, lifting your hips. Good. And then as you roll down the spine, one vertebra at a time, start to stretch the legs out in front of you. Take the arms alongside you, again, like you are setting yourself very specifically to be at rest. Settling for Shavasana. Maybe come back to the mantra, I am. Or maybe just look for the answer, feel for the answer. Who am I? Very gently bring the awareness back to the breath. Letting the body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest and roll to your right side. Taking a moment before you begin to push the floor away, come back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. The ocean of consciousness is our metaphors, but we said that this is what the huge experience is of the soul, the huge experience of what is beyond the confines of your mind. And our whole challenge is that we feel those things. Some part of us feels it, we're called to it, but we're convinced that it's not us. So we push it aside. We draw this line that says, well, there's me on this island, and then there's all the rest of that experience. And I don't know what that is. And if we never leave the island, we never find out what that is. And if we never seek it because it's scary or because we think that we're going to have to deal with issues that we don't want to deal with, then that bigness never happens. Or rather, we never know it to be us. It's always happening. So yoga asks us this question. The movie Moana asked this question over and over again. Do you know who you are? Because if you know who you are, then you have access to that bigness 100% of the time. You don't have to go anywhere. It's just there. But answering that question, I know who I am. Right? If you yell your own name, what does that mean? What comes with that? That is fundamentally you, not anyone else who shares your name, but your name. Because that's the bigness living through you in this lifetime, in this body, in this mind. But you're not limited. So as long as you remember that, you're always free. The world is as big or as small as you want it to be. So whenever it feels like it's too small, remember that you're the one who has the power to step beyond that. You do it not by having to go somewhere, but by knowing who you are. So one more breath into yourself, the I am. Just feel it. Don't define it, just feel it. I am so much more than just what you've been through, so much more than what you think. And you carry that. Let that continue to widen your world. We'll close the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. If you want an excuse to eat cake tomorrow, it's my daughter's birthday, go for it. If you want to go watch the movie Moana, you have an excuse now. Thanks for listening to my rambling. Monday, one class on the schedule, just Margie at 9:30, then no other classes for the holiday.